I stood in my kitchen, holding a tin can of beef fat, what people in the 1940s called dripping. Back then, they saved every bit. Butter was rare, meat was rationed, and yet, people found ways to live, even thrive. As I stirred the warm fat, I couldn't help but wonder, could these old-school habits help me survive today's rising prices? Rent is higher than ever. Groceries feel like luxury items. Every time I check my bank app, I cringe. So I made a decision for the next 30 days, I would live like it was the 1940s. That meant ration cards, mending clothes, growing food, and giving up modern luxuries, even my daily coffee runs. Would I save money? Would I lose my mind? I didn't know, but I was ready to find out if the past held the secret to surviving the present. In the 1940s, life was tough. World War II was happening. People didn't have much food, clothes, gas. Even soap were hard to find. Everything was rationed. Families learned how to stretch every dollar, grow their own food, and fix what they had instead of buying new things. It wasn't easy, but it brought out a kind of strength and creativity that helped them survive. Now, in 2025, things feel uncertain again. Prices are going up. Rent is high. Groceries cost more. Many people are worried about money and how to make it last. It made me think, maybe the 1940s can teach us something useful today. People back then knew how to live simply, waste less, and save more. Could those old habits help us deal with today's cost of living crisis? That question is what made me want to try this 30-day challenge in the first place. To live like it was the 1940s, I had to follow strict rules. I gave myself a ration card, just a little meat, sugar, butter, and eggs each week. No takeout, no snacks, no frozen meals. I cooked everything from scratch. I couldn't buy new clothes or anything online. I had to walk or bike everywhere. No cars or ride shares. If something broke, I had to fix it myself. I also tried growing a few herbs at home and made my own cleaning supplies. The goal was to live simply, waste nothing, and spend as little money as possible. Week 1. Shock and pantry audit. The first week hit me hard. I didn't realize how much I relied on modern comforts until I couldn't use them. I opened my fridge and saw everything that was now off limits: frozen pizza, bottled drinks, ready-made meals. Most of it didn't exist in the 1940s. I took a deep breath and started my pantry audit. I removed all the modern snacks, sauces, and anything too processed. What was left? A bag of oats, a few potatoes, some rice, and dried beans. Suddenly, that didn't feel like much. Cooking from scratch every day was a big change. I spent over an hour making soup one night, something I used to grab from a can in minutes. I miss snacks the most. In the 1940s, people made everything: bread, broth, even ketchup. But I started reading old cookbooks from that time. They had smart tips, like saving veggie scraps for broth and reusing leftovers in new meals. It was hard work, but I felt proud. I wasn't wasting anything. Every meal mattered. It wasn't just about food. It was about learning to use what I already had and making it stretch. Week 2. The art of substitution and bartering. By the second week, I was running out of key ingredients. Flour, eggs, and sugar were almost gone. In the 1940s, people learned how to swap one thing for another. So I gave it a try. When I had no eggs, I used mashed bananas or a spoonful of vinegar and baking soda to bake. Out of butter, I used old-fashioned dripping, fat saved from cooking meat. No milk? I mixed water with a spoonful of oats and let it sit. Not perfect, but it worked. I also started bartering just like people did during the war. I joined a local Facebook group and offered homemade soup in exchange for extra eggs. One neighbor traded fresh herbs from her garden for a loaf of my bread. It was simple, but it felt good. We were helping each other without money. This week taught me that I don't always need more. I just need to be more creative. Swapping and substituting made me feel connected to others in a new way. It reminded me that community is a kind of wealth too. In a world full of apps and fast shipping, this slow, thoughtful way of living felt surprisingly refreshing. Teaching kids the value of enough. Frugal parenting. I have 2 kids, and at first, they thought this challenge was just a weird mom experiment. But as the days went on, something shifted. They helped me bake bread, sew a ripped sock, and plant green onions in a jar. One day, my son asked, "Why don't we always live like this?" We talked about needs versus wants, about saving instead of spending, about how people used to share and fix things instead of throwing them away. They didn't just learn about money, they learned about gratitude. And that lesson? I'd take that over any toy or screen time. Week 3, Victory Garden 2.0 and Mental Detox. In the 1940s, people were encouraged to grow their own food to support the war. They called these victory gardens. Most families had small gardens in their backyards, or even in windowsills. I don't have a garden, but I started a mini version on my balcony. I planted lettuce, green onions, and herbs in old containers. Watching tiny sprouts grow felt exciting. It gave me something to look forward to each morning. I also noticed a big change in my mind. Since I wasn't shopping online, scrolling social media, or watching streaming shows all day, my brain felt quieter. I had more time to read, cook, and just think. At night, I would light a candle and write in a notebook, something I hadn't done in years. Without my phone buzzing, I felt calmer and slept better. Gardening gave me purpose, and slow living gave me peace. It made me realize how much stress comes from always being busy and connected. In the 1940s, life was harder, but it was also slower, and in some ways, better for mental health. This week didn't just save money. It saved my focus and my mood. Week 4, Breaking Points and Breakthroughs. By the 4th week, I was tired, really tired. Cooking every single meal from scratch, walking everywhere, and saying no to everything fun or easy was starting to wear me down. One night, I stood in my kitchen staring at a carrot. I didn't want to chop it, roast it, or even eat it. I just wanted to order pizza and watch TV. But I didn't. Instead, I boiled that carrot, made soup, and reminded myself why I started this challenge. And then something unexpected happened. I felt proud. I realized I had gone almost a month without wasting food, without buying stuff I didn't need, and without feeling broke. Even more surprising, I had money left in my account. I had saved over half of my usual food and shopping budget. I also lost a little weight and felt more focused. The hard part had taught me discipline, and that felt good. The biggest breakthrough? I didn't need as much as I thought. Less stuff, less stress. Yes, I missed hot coffee from a cafe. But I gained something better: control over my money, my time, and my choices. The 1940s were tough, but they were also full of smart lessons. At the end of the 30 days, I checked my budget, and I was shocked in a good way. I had saved around $740 without even trying that hard. Normally, I spend about $500 a month on groceries, snacks, and takeout. But by cooking everything myself and following ration-style eating, I spent only $210 this month. I also didn't drive anywhere, which saved me $150 on gas and parking. And since I didn't buy any new clothes, gadgets, or online stuff, I saved another $300 right there. But the best part wasn't just the money. I felt different. I felt calmer, lighter, and more focused. I didn't miss the shopping or the fast food as much as I thought I would. I was proud of using what I had and wasting nothing. Living like it was the 1940s gave me something I didn't expect: freedom from stress and better control over my money. Living like the 1940s taught me a lot, but it wasn't always fun. Cooking every meal took a lot of time and energy. I couldn't just grab a snack or relax after work. I always had something to clean, fix, or prepare. Some days I felt lonely. Most people around me were living modern lives, and I felt left out. Also, not everyone can do this. If you work long hours or don't have a safe space to grow food or bike, it's much harder. Frugal living has value, but it's not always simple or fair for everyone. After 30 days, some habits stuck with me. I'll keep cooking at home more often, planning meals, and using every bit of food. I'll keep mending clothes instead of tossing them, and making my own cleaning products. I also want to keep spending less and thinking more before I buy anything. But I won't keep everything. I'm saying goodbye to homemade soap, too messy, lard-based cooking, and going without coffee. I miss little comforts, and that's okay. The 1940s lifestyle taught me how to live with less. But now, I can choose what matters most. Don't forget to like and comment on the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.